Welcome to the regular board meeting of the Plymouth School Board. We already did the Pledge of Allegiance, even though I want to do it twice. Mr. Samuelson says no. So we'll move on. Hopefully everybody voted today. Opening and setting of agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, there aren't. I have some things I would like to talk about, though.
Okay.
I think specifically, if you look under the retirement section, we have some people who have been with us a long time, both certified and classified teachers. Mary Kay Huey, first grade teacher at Jefferson; Jeff Scarberry, fourth grade teacher at Mountain; Kathy Richter, high school English teacher; Donna Cheney, high school chemistry teacher; Joan May, special education teacher at Jefferson; Judy Martin, head cook at Jefferson; Sue Turpin, sixth grade teacher at Riverside; Al Hunter, technician; and Bob Reed, seventh grade teacher at Lincoln Junior High. So I'd like to call attention to those retirements that have been posted.
Item 1.3, audience participation. Is there anyone that would like to speak on an agenda?
I need a motion, sorry.
I
don't even think we're to the consent agenda yet. So.
No, but we have to set the agenda. I'm sorry.
Oh, on the agenda. Okay. I'm sorry.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now, audience participation. Anybody want to speak on an agenda item? All right. All right. Item 2.0, consent agenda. Is there anything anyone else wants to pull out of the consent agenda? I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? I know I want to say thank you to all the teachers on the list that are retiring and the staff. Several of those teachers gave of themselves for my kids, and I really appreciate that.
I would echo those same sentiments. In fact, a couple of them I hired a few years ago, so it does make me feel a little bit older. They sure have dedicated themselves, and we appreciate their contributions, and they'll enjoy their retirement, I guarantee.
I would echo that as well, and to feel old, I had a few of these teachers, junior high, one in high school, pretty influential people here on this list, and also for my kids, so appreciate their efforts very much, and everyone on this list has made a tremendous contribution to our schools. I did have one question. I should have asked this, Dan, in advance, but maybe I read it wrong. One of the effective dates was later. Is that correct, or is it?
On retirements?
Most of them are June 30th.
She normally does summer school.
I'm sorry?
She normally does summer school.
Oh, okay.
She wanted to do one more summer school.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Item 3.0, business transactions. Item 3.1, consider name donation for the School of Inquiry.
Could I know we accepted the agenda. I thought we were going to move things around a little bit.
She's going to be right after this.
She'll be right after this. Yeah. As we know, stories are important to our students to hear as they're going through their education. Stories of businessmen and women in Plymouth who came to town with a good idea for a business, worked hard, and persevered through tough times are the types of stories we plan to tell our students in the School of Inquiry. One of the stories that they will be reminded of every time they walk through the doors will be that of the Widener family and their accounting business and their payroll business that they've built in town as solid business, a solid business in town. Because the Widener family has graciously donated $100,000, Mrs. Christensen, I recommend that the entire Board of Trustees that we make a permanent name of the school, the Widener School of Inquiry at PHS.
All right, with that recommendation, could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
I'd just like to personally thank the Widener family. It was a
Absolutely.
tremendous donation, and it'll be put to good use, I guarantee.
Thank you so much.
Yes, very much appreciated.
Well, as soon as we make it official, I'll introduce the members of the family who are
Yes,
here.
please.
Yeah,
All right, all in
Oh,
favor?
I'm sorry, you're not gonna do that now.
I'll do it.
Before we vote,
after you vote.
I personally want to offer my sincere appreciation to the Widener family for this very gracious donation. And it's really a testament to what you've done in our community over the years, and I'm anticipating we'll continue to do, so thank you very much.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, tonight with us, we have Dan, Julie, and their children, Jared and Aaron. Stand up, please.
Mr. White,
Would you like to say anything?
would you like to say something? I'm sorry.
You know, I think, you know, the children of our community, and I think the residents as well, I think we're very fortunate and very blessed in many ways for the businesses that are in the community, such individuals as Mr. Oliver I see over there. And we're very fortunate to have, I think, Mr. Tyree as a superintendent in the schools. I think his vision has gone a long way to improving our schools, and the wisdom of this board to follow his thoughts and his insights into the way that the school should operate. I applaud everybody here as well. If I didn't believe in the school, I didn't believe in the support that you're giving to the students and the new and the creative ways that you're trying to teach, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I see the success of businesses, and I see sometimes the failures. And I see many times what it takes for these businesses to be very successful, and the efforts that you're putting forth in this school of inquiry go a long way to educating our students, to make them feel important and give them the right goals and ambitions and the right values that it takes to run a successful business and to be a successful citizen in our community. So with that, I thank you all.
Since we have everyone dressed up, we thought it might be a nice time for a picture. Could we come, could the family come up, please? Mr. Olson? All right.
Kim, I need you to.
That working?
Yes, that's working very well. Ready? I'm going to take two in case this.
One for Mr. Olson.
There's sometimes a pause in the action, and if you would like to be part of this time.
Would everyone who's involved with the School of Inquiry please stand so we can applaud you also? Thank you very much. And you're welcome to stay if you want to for the rest of the meeting, but we understand if you have other places to be. So feel free to leave if you want to. And we're going to move on. What's the next thing? Yeah. Consider, item 3.1, consider resolution to approve refunding.
Yes. In order to save the school some money, we decided to look into refunding our current bonds at a less expensive interest rate. much like a homeowner would refinance their home. And we found that by refunding the bonds, we would save approximately 1.1 to 1.7 million, which in turn will be placed into a capital projects fund, which will be helpful since our capital projects budget has been cut by more than $1 million over the past few years. Belvia from Umbaugh and Associates is here to explain the refunding in detail.
Thanks, Candy. Good evening, everybody. And as Candy mentioned, I'm going to discuss the potential refunding of the school corporation's outstanding 2004 to 2005 bonds. And this first graph just shows the current structure of the school corporation's debt. And you can see that the bonds will currently be repaid. All of your outstanding debt will be currently repaid through 2022. And it includes the current repayment of the 2004 and 2005 bonds. They're in the kind of the red and the yellow. Total payments currently for the school corporation's debt is approximately $3.9 million from 2013 to 2018, and then it tapers off from there. This is just a representation of just the previous slide, but this just shows the detail, and you can see that the school corporation's debt is about $3.9 million. I know it's kind of small, but this is the summary of the potential refunding. And there are two bonds that are currently under consideration to being refunded. The first is the 2004 bonds, which were originally issued to provide for improvements to Washington Elementary School and purchase of land adjacent to the junior high school. Currently outstanding in the amount of $11.61 million and an average interest rate of 4.92%, with the first redemption date in January 2014. And the 2005 bonds, which were originally issued for the construction of Menominee Elementary School and the addition to Jefferson Elementary School. And those bonds are currently outstanding in the amount of $12,915,000 with an average interest rate of 4.79%. And so when we looked at the refunding, to refund both of these bond issues would require a bond issue amount of about $26.27 million, and the current interest rate that we have been utilizing is 2%. And as a result of this, there are savings of about $1.54 million, and that is the savings in today's dollars. And it also represents about $100,000 that will be available to put toward the refinancing of prior issue of the debt service monies that are currently available to put toward the refinancing. So this translates into a savings amount of 5.88%. As Candy mentioned, we are looking at a minimum threshold of savings of about $1.1 million. And when we look at potential refunding candidates, we look at a minimum amount of savings of at least 2%. So this exceeds that amount quite significantly. In terms of the total gross savings, that total is $1.65 million. And the refunding bonds have been structured such that there would be some initial savings of about $1.5 million. And this would be savings that are realized after the school corporation makes its budgeted debt service payment in December of 2012. So the difference between the budgeted amount, the budgeted lease rental payment, and then the new payments as a result of this refinancing would then be deposited into a construction fund that the building corporation, that the school corporation could use in order to make capital improvements throughout the school corporation. And then finally, this graph just shows a little bit more detail, and it shows the repayment of the current repayment of the 2004 and 2005 bonds, and then the estimated repayment of the proposed 2012 bonds. And you can see that in budget year 2012, we're just showing the payment for the December payment. You can see the savings there of the $1.51 million. The remaining savings are then kind of distributed through the remaining years of repayment and average about $18,000. Are there any questions?
It doesn't change the term of payoff.
No, that's correct. Well, actually, the repayment would now be 7/15/21.
Anybody have any questions? would entertain a motion to approve the refunding.
I would so move.
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to point out a couple of things, I think. I think we have some options to consider in terms of how this is structured. And obviously what this does is generate some benefit, immediate benefit to the school corporation that we can realize in 2013 by dollars flowing into our construction fund. And I think, and Delia mentioned it, I think it's important that, or actually it was Candy, and the reason I like this is the pressure that our CPF fund is under as a result of property tax caps, as a result of economic conditions, and who knows, we may see some more of that yet to be born as we have gone through reassessment. I know that people are seeing different results as a result of reassessment, so we can see our tax base. I don't know if we've got those results yet for our AD in 13.
Yes, it's down by about 30 million.
Yeah. So a reduction in our tax base is going to put even more pressure on the CPF. And throughout the year, we've had discussions tonight of the school inquiry, and can we do that at the middle school level, both at Lincoln and at Riverside. And there's going to be some capital expenditures necessary to affect that. We've talked about capital expenditures as a result of moving our bus garage facilities and what's going to be needed there. So I think that it's fortunate that we have the ability to, with the interest rate market, to consider this, to perhaps, I don't know how better to say it, to avoid additional pressure on our CPF, where we fund a lot of technology and technology-related issues going forward, so we can address those capital items and not extend our debt, actually reduce our payments each year a little bit. So I'm in full support.
So you're not.
But I'm also not going to vote, given my association with Unboss, I'm going to be abstaining.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries.
I abstain.
Got it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a safe trip back.
I will, thank you. Thank you, Delia.
Okay, item 3.3, report on maintenance department. Mr. Schoaf.
Good evening. I'd like to take this opportunity to present our Plymouth Community School Corporation annual facility report. And I would like to start off with our maintenance operations summary. In the first slide, I've included a list of basic components that we are servicing at PCSC. And we are utilizing chilled water for cooling at Menominee, Washington Elementary, and Plymouth High School. Riverside utilizes a water source heat pump system for heating and cooling, and the remaining buildings are essentially rooftop air conditioning units. All buildings use hot water for heating, and we're currently maintaining 35 boilers and water heaters capable of producing over 44 million BTUs of peak output. So we have quite a bit of different components and systems, and as you said, we've been kind of challenged in capital projects, so we're just kind of in a hold and maintain mode at this point. If I could, I'd like to move on to repair. We're currently servicing over 570 various air handling systems and components. Our service consists of like coil cleanings, bearing lubrication replacement, bearing replacements, condensate draining, cleaning, verification of operations on our building automation, and scheduled air filter changes. So, I mean, quite a bit of different components at Plymouth. I'd like to give you a little bit of information on our generators and emergency backup systems. We have generators in place at Plymouth High School, Riverside Intermediate, and Menominee Elementary. Like, as I said there, those units are serviced annually, but they are exercised weekly for 30-minute intervals. And we try to plan those before the early storm season so that we know we're prepared in advance of emergency. Moving on to our capital projects, Plymouth High School. We did some renovations and improvements to 3 rooms over there for our first-year School of Inquiry program. And then Plymouth High School continues to receive lighting upgrades that are lowering our operating costs, such as we did a replacement of 500-watt incandescent lights in our auditorium with 70-watt fluorescent lights. And the payback schedule on that was about 2.1 years. And we were able to get some funding from Energizing Indiana with a rebate program to pay for part of that cost for that upgrade. Lincoln Junior High School, we saw a renovation of an art room and created a new science room space at that building. And we did some window replacement frames in our Centennial Gym. At Riverside, we had various improvements to our kitchen and fire alarm systems. Jefferson and Menominee were due for surfacing on their playgrounds and minor parking lot repairs. Washington Elementary continues to receive water line repair and replacement as needed. I would like to report that our roof repairs at Washington are very manageable at this point and do not warrant replacement in the near future. We just need to keep our maintenance plan in place and keep up on our repairs, our scheduled routine. Let's see, at Webster Elementary, we completed a parking lot expansion project over there. We picked up 18 additional spaces and 2 new ADA accessible ramps to make access to the building easier. And then it also is a place for our school drop-off and dismissal for our busing. That has made it easier for our buses to merge with traffic onto Michigan Street, because after the construction of Menominee, that intersection became a lot busier, and it just, everything kind of flows that way into a little bit of a traffic jam there for us. We took a hard look at our playgrounds this season, and we've been placing fall protection mats in areas where our surfacing wears thin, such as under our swings and at the bottom of our slides. We're not able to upgrade our surfacing yet to the rubber component, but we're putting it in at areas where kids are constantly wearing the mulch out of it, where they're going to get hurt. So that was a low-cost step to trying to help avoid those injuries. And then work order production.
I'm sorry, before you move on.
Yes, sir.
Webster, what is a pneumatic actuator?
Pneumatic actuator. What we have in Webster is we have,
that is?
basically we have components at Webster that in the heating and cooling system that we use compressed air to operate dampers and functions, and some of those, like basically over time they'll begin to wear out and air will start leaking from it. So your dampers won't open and close and maybe let in the correct amount of outside air or operate valves quite as efficiently as they should. So our new control sits on top of some older pneumatic components. So we keep the older system going by replacing some of the pneumatic parts. Yes, sir. Work order production. I have included a slide showing department work order production by building over the last 12 months. As you can see, Plymouth High School leads the way at over 33% of our tickets come through Plymouth High School. About 660 some tickets. Lincoln and Riverside follow proportionally based on the size of the facilities. And we were able to improve from 1,933 tickets last year to 1,990 this cycle. In the next 2 slides here, I have included a completed list of the various inspections that we have done over the last 12 months, and I could go into them if you like, or you could just ask any questions you might have on those. They're all typically mandated by the state for us, though. No issues with our bleacher inspection, no, nothing significant on that for expenditure, so that was good.
So then we're in compliance with.
Full compliance of all those inspections, yes, ma'am.
You know, I'm glad you pointed that out, and I'm not trying to pick on other school corporations, but we go to some away games, I don't know how they get by with some of the bleachers that they have. Is that just a grandfather deal? I mean, I don't want you to get into that, I just appreciate the fact that, of the system.
Yeah, I know that a lot of times aisle space to exit the facility becomes a big issue. We had to take some seating out of our gym when we replaced our bleachers. Just
I'm
because
talking
we
more of
could.
the outside, I've almost lost a kid between those bleachers. I'm serious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when the kids get going, it's important to keep a good inspection on those items because you get 4,000 people in there jumping around and excited, and you just don't want to have a unfortunate incident. So we have that inspection. All are in full compliance. We did upgrade completely rework our MSDS books and program. That's all completely updated for current chemicals and what have that we're using corporation-wide. Our new business, our School of Inquiry project, continues to progress, and I'm glad to report at this point we're still on budget for everything in that project, and drywall hanging in the lower level is set to begin next week. So it's moving along pretty well. And under our utility management, we continue to improve, and the 11% decrease in consumption is a great number for us, considering that we spend just under $1 million a year on utilities. I have not received our updates from Energy Star yet, but we have a corporate average score of 89. That score puts us securely above the eligibility score of 70 to be an Energy Star partner again, corporation-wide, for this next year. So I would fully expect that would be in place by the end of the year for us again. And our rates at 89, our score at 89 puts us among the best in the state in energy utilization and performance. I guess in closing, I just wanted to take an opportunity as a parent and employee to say thanks to the maintenance and custodial staff, people that work for me at Plymouth, and they work hard to make this school a great place for kids, and it's been a real pleasure working here over the last 4 years.
Does anybody have any questions for Dave?
You're not going anywhere, are you?
No, sir. No, sir.
We want you to stay.
Yes.
I know that, and maybe you told me this before, the Energy Star partner, I mean, I know it's a reflection of all the hard work we're going through, but what does that do for us?
I have been working on eligibility for certain grants that we can get to. I mean, it's kind of been, it's been opening up some funding, things that way, making additional dollars available for us. It helped with the Energizing Indiana program that we were an Energy Star partner, getting the rebate money for that. So, and it's really a great benchmarking tool. Being able to import all your data for your utilities into it from Excel right into that, and then they will weather normalize it for our region of the country and give us really good data to see how we perform. So it's really been a nice free tool for us to use to evaluate our performance.
I appreciate your hard work, Dave, and it's not, I mean, every week I get a compliment on how nice our buildings look and how nice the grounds look. So that's a reflection on you, and I appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We have great people to work with, so it makes it good.
Yes, we do. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 3.4, appoint board member to the redevelopment commission. I would propose we table this until next meeting because we don't really know what kind of allocation we have of board members who are going to be able to do this yet. Unless,
Motion to table.
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 3.5, consider administrative salaries and benefits.
Yes, so I would make a recommendation that each administrator receive an increase in their salary of $1,035, which is consistent with what our teachers got in their raise package.
I would entertain such a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion
Carol.
Carol?
Is that a one-time one?
Not this year. We've been, the last couple of years, we've been doing stipends.
Okay.
This is a raise
This is an actual raise, so that 1,035 will continue on.
that will go on their base salary. That's good.
All right. Item 3.6, high ability report.
That's me, and then I also have the next one, Title I, if that's okay with the board, I'll just move it from one to the other. Okay, high ability grant has been submitted on time, all grants have been submitted on time, but this one has been submitted on time, but has not been approved yet. We are waiting final allocation for that at this time, but we have been making changes to the high ability program within the school corporation. I just want to highlight a little of those tonight. Most of these changes have been at the elementary level. That is where we're seeing the need. We put some other type of changes already in our Riverside and Lincoln Junior High and High School, and felt we need to really focus on elementary. Right now, they are currently doing a Spanish course with some of our students, our enrichment group, in reading, and they're learning how to speak this language as well as learning about its culture, and a lot of this has been led by our two art teachers at the elementary level. And I just wanted to share, it just happened to come across my desk today from one of our art teachers, from a student at Jefferson, saying, I can't believe it, I'm only in 4th grade and I'm learning 2 languages. I'm going to be bilingual. We are enjoying it. So I thought that was very appropriate to see that the kids are having fun with learning Spanish at the elementary level, and they'll be doing that through the months of November and December. Currently, we're also focused on having an accelerated math class for our 4th graders. This is a math class for a focused set of group of kids because we are accelerating the curriculum and working on 4th and 5th grade skills. We keyed in on a few groups of kids at each elementary, and we created a specialized curriculum for them based on what they do know and what they need to learn. So this has been really drilled down. They took a pre-test for us. We determined from there what they did not know in both grade levels, and we set out a plan for the year. So we're going to be set for the 6th grade level as they go into Riverside for Mrs. Hershey. Also, we are working on getting a science fair created. That will be in the spring, so more details later, and a speech and debate competition at the elementary level. And Riverside is graciously going to be teaching an explorations class. So we got some neat things started and going, and with the help of the administrators, the staff at each of the elementaries as well, and at Riverside, as well as the 2 art teachers, we are making some things happen at the elementary. Okay, so that's the high ability update. Any questions about that?
You said we're waiting on grant approval.
Yes.
How much grant are we talking?
I believe Candy was at 30,
Close to
34,000?
Yeah, actually, it's lower this year, yes, you're right, about 34.
Okay.
Thousand.
And with the, like anything else, we've been doing a lot of waiting for these grants for approval.
Yes.
We've been jumping through many hoops, more so than in the past. So this is just another one of those jumping through the hoops to get this okayed. The next one, if that's okay, I can go on to Title I. It has been approved. That's a good thing. And the grant still assists us in paying for the 5 title teachers, the 4 at the elementary and the 1 at Riverside, and along with the aides. And we did get an increase of $406 from the allocation that was granted to us in the summer. But can I allocate those $406? No, I can't yet. They haven't given me permission. But what I like about this grant, it pays for a lot of the 5 teachers and the aide salaries. So a lot of that doesn't come out of the general fund. We really make sure that this grant pays for those. So we do appreciate it at the elementary in Riverside to have those additional staff members present. There will be an on-site visit this year with Title I, which we're currently preparing for. And that is the update that I have on Title I.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Reese? Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Item 3.8, consider proposed course changes.
We have Mr. Condon here. Go ahead, Jim. I will make you aware that with the addition of new tech schools at Lincoln and Riverside, that we'll have course changes for those two buildings probably January, February. That we'll bring to you at that time. So just high school tonight. Go ahead, Jim.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for letting me appear in front of you this evening to talk about changes in course offerings we're going to present to our students next year. Let's go ahead. As you know, we've started offering Chinese Level 1 courses this year at both the junior high and the high school. We do now have our full-time teacher in place, Meg Wan. American name is Angel, and we picked Angel up at the airport last Monday, and she is here and working on a daily basis now and doing a fine job in her transition into the classroom. She's currently working with Anna Horkey, our student teacher, who will be with us for another 4 weeks, and in that process they'll transition from lead teacher to assistant, and then out, of course. Next year, picking up with the program, we'll offer Chinese Level 2 at the high school. This is in addition to continuing offering Chinese Level 1 at the junior high and the high school as well.
Excuse me, Jim, what kind of numbers and sections do we have in the new Chinese course?
We have two junior high classes and 2 high school courses. I don't know the exact numbers that we're offering right now. I know that we have filled 2 sections at the high school.
That's a good start.
Next year, we're also looking at offering our 4th Project Lead the Way course in our pre-engineering program. It's abbreviated SIM, Computer Integrated Manufacturing. This was taken directly from the department, or from the Project Lead the Way website. But in short, SIM focuses on the following things: how things are made, what processes go into creating products. Is the process for making a water bottle, for example, the same as it is used for a musical instrument? How do the assembly lines work? How does an automation change the face of manufacturing? While students discover the answers to these questions, they're learning about the history of manufacturing, robotics, automation, et cetera, et cetera. We're excited with this class, as excited as any of our pre-engineering classes to date. Sophomore level additions to the School of Inquiry. Ken?
Thank you. As you know, we're in the midst of having our first freshman class, and next year we're going to add on to that with hopefully another class of 100 freshmen, and we'll have the sophomores there. So we do need to add some courses to that sophomore level, and these are the integrated courses. We do have some classes that'll be, the traditional standalone classes like we've had before. So we're just bringing the new ones that are integrated. The first is Modern World Humanities, which we'll actually title European Perspectives, but it's a combination of a modern world history with a English course. Chem Foods, which will be the science of food, combining chemistry with agricultural food sciences. And so again, the opportunity for students to experience some high-level courses in an integrated manner that gives them that really opportunity to real-world problems, and also have that basis point of something that's going to interest them and draw them in. The second piece, new courses for 2013-2014 for the freshmen. As you know, when we started School of Inquiry this year, we had, not to call it a problem, but we had a biology issue. We had students at Lincoln that were taking biology that had we started with a bio course this year, they would have had already taken that course and probably wouldn't want to do it again. So we held off a year on that, and so next year we're going to implement that freshman bio course. And it'll be bio-art, combination of biology with 1 trimester of a 2D art course. Kind of give them a survey piece of art and how you can connect it together. The teachers have been up to Niles, Michigan, where they're currently doing this course, and we're pretty excited about the possibilities of some of the things you can do combining those 2 subjects. And that's the extent of our kind of new integrated course.
So where do we go next? As you know, we've talked briefly in the past, or the past couple of years, about continuing to broaden our dual credit opportunities for our students. Plymouth University remains our next prominent feature at Plymouth High School. I want you to be aware that we are currently involved and continue to be in discussion with potential post-secondary partners to broaden these opportunities for our students. Our goal is to broaden our dual credit opportunities in such a way that these courses would be made available in the classrooms of Plymouth High School at a greatly reduced cost, if not free, to our students. If things work out well, we hope to have this in place perhaps beginning as soon as next fall for our students. And I'll be back to speak with you as we move forward with that. Questions?
Any questions for Jim?
So at Plymouth University, is that, are those Pilgrims or Rockies?
Yeah, I've got that for you. Pity would be Cubs, I don't know.
No, it's really exciting.
It is.
Yeah, it is exciting.
It is.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Jim. Okay. Item 3.9, new and revised policies and guidelines, first reading.
Well, we have a whole slew there, as you can see. Working with Dan and Sandy in my initiation of board policy and administrative guidelines.
Welcome to that.
Yeah. So, there's an overview document there. I don't know if you want to, I mean, we probably don't want to go through each one of them. Are there any questions about any of them?
Does anybody have any questions about any particular policy?
Not yet.
Strictly recommendations from Neola.
What I would suggest is you read through these, email us, give us a call, so we can look up anything that we need to look up. Any of these that pertain to our professional teaching staff, we will be taking through discussion. So they will also have the opportunity to talk about the proposed changes. Some of these changes are policies, which means there will need to be a vote on the policies. Some of them are administrative guidelines, and there does not need to be a vote on administrative guidelines, but we need to make sure that you see them. I would also remind you that we work with Neola. Neola has a staff of attorneys who scours through new laws and through court cases to try to provide the best policies and administrative guidelines to schools to keep us out of trouble.
So if we have questions or if we see things that need clarifying, we email Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You can email either one of us. Either
Yeah.
Dan.
These are the result of Neola changes. They're
New legislation or changes in legislation, yeah.
Okay. All right, and we're not voting on these tonight. So moving on to item 4, superintendent's remarks.
4.1, commitment to students. Proud to post on our blog recently that Mr. Bob Reed, 7th grade science teacher at Lincoln Junior High, was recently recognized by the Department of Education as a Community Choice Prize for Excellence in the Classroom. That was in his last year of teaching, so he's going to go out with a bang. I did email him and ask him if he was going to remain as our coach, and I didn't get an answer out of him, so I think, is that a yes?
I think he is.
I think he's planning to, so. 4.2, caring, we continue to update you on the program Blessings in a Backpack that got started this year by 2 volunteers. We are now feeding 200, well, they are now feeding 200 students in grades K through 8, which is a much larger scope than they started with, and they said money just keeps pouring in, which is allowing them to expand the scope of that program. 4.3, high expectations. As of yesterday, we received the official letter that we have been accepted into New Tech 2. So we will continue looking at our operations at Riverside and Lincoln Junior High. I can also tell you that we've received communication from them that when they did their visit, they thought we were the most prepared of any school that they had seen. Thought the broad-based support was fantastic. So kudos to the board for that. Team player, our Spell Bowl team are the state finalists. Not only are the state finalists, but they are ranked 3rd in the state, going not just on our class, but the entire state, going into the state finals. I plan to be there. I know Mr. Condon has to be there. He's a proctor. It doesn't mean you have to know how to spell the words, does it?
It certainly doesn't.
Do you have to pronounce them?
Negative.
Use them in a sentence.
Negative again.
You know, the Spell Bowl now, this in the district where they, by the way, beat John Glenn for the 2nd year in a row, have all these people were perfect spellers. Shocked me, but I guess with the score we got, they had to. Nicole Splix, Pauline DeGoss, Grace Stokes, Abby Schumacher, Anna Piazza, Nate Mahan, and Kelsey Schneiders. In the district, Martinsville and Penn both had perfect 90s, so you have to have a lot of perfects to be able to contend for the state championship. So congratulations, and we'll be down there to root them on. As you can tell, 4.5 integrity, as you can tell. I voted this morning before I came to work, and I hope everyone else took advantage of their right and their responsibility to vote. 4.6, enjoyment. We were excited to post on the blog over the weekend that Hannah Jacobs was recently named a Riley champion and had a great weekend in Indianapolis at the Colts game. Also, Carrie McGuire has been named the District 2 Indiana Principal of the Year, and we will be going down next week. Next weekend to the banquet where all the district champions will be together, and they'll name an Indiana Principal of the Year for elementary schools. A couple of reminders. Tomorrow, November 7th, we're having a student celebration at 9 a.m., and we knew that most of you work and couldn't attend that. So the official ribbon cutting ceremony to celebrate the opening of Washington Discovery Academy will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow late afternoon. That'll be right in the front of Washington, and we've planned that to be a short ceremony, not knowing what kind of weather we were going to have. Also, Wednesday, November 21st, 2012, Webster staff and students will be celebrating their National Blue Ribbon School Award at 2 o'clock once again in a student celebration. And then Friday, November 30th, 2012, we've planned a banquet to honor the Webster National Blue Ribbon School Award winner. That will be at Christo's at 5:30. And like I said before, you'll get emails about these, so you can put them on your calendar. And then Tuesday, December 4th, 2012 is the next school board meeting at 7 o'clock in this room. And that is all I have to report.
Does anybody have any questions for Dan? All right. Item 5.1, audience participation. Is there anyone that would like to speak on any the agenda items that we just discussed? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to 6.1, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.